Today is my husband and I's 13th wedding anniversary, and we still like each other, so I thought I would tell you guys the story of how we came to be. And actually, from the very first time we met to when we started dating was a whole year. I had gone out one evening with a group of girlfriends because a boyfriend had just broken up with me, and so I was sad, mad, whatever. I was like, I'm just hanging out with the girls tonight. So we went out to dinner, had a lot of fun, but we ended up going to our college evening football game. And at that game, one of my mutual girlfriends was sitting with Jake. Some point in the evening where my friend must have gotten up because Jake slid over to me and we had a very brief conversation. And we both remember it very vividly because it was full of banter, which I think just showed that we had some sort of instant chemistry. But obviously didn't faze either of us because I don't think we spoke again for about 5 months maybe. A little piece of information, at the time, I went to college with my older brother and he lived in the dorms on an all guys hall. Jake lived on that hall. So Jake was starting to become friends with my brother. I lived on a different part of campus, but occasionally I would go over to visit my brother. And so he would be around in these group setting situations. I really wish I could flash back to that spring to see what Jake and I's interactions were like, because don't remember him very much. Not in a mean way. He was just harder to get to know than everyone else in these group settings. I do remember being very intrigued by him. I, at the time, was not wanting to date anyone, and he was friends with my older brother. So there was no interest, if that makes sense. Okay, I'm watching this back, and I do want to add one more thing about that spring when we were hanging out every once in a while in these big group settings. We would go country swing dancing together, usually once a week, and my favorite person to dance with was always Jake. So again, I think that speaks to some sort of chemistry that we had. That again, we waited 6 months till we started dating. We're gonna jump forward to the next school year. My brother had graduated, he was gone, out of the picture. I had moved off campus to my first ever apartment that I shared with my cousin, who was my roommate. Her and I really enjoyed hosting. And so with that, I guess Jake was a part of one of these first groups of people that we had over to our apartment. And something about that year, we just clicked. We were instantly friends, but literally just friends. That year, we were hanging out all the time, but Jake asked one of my good friends out on a date and not me, which was fine. It just prolonged his and I's friendship. And through that friendship, I started to have a little crush on him. He was just so easy to talk to. We always laughed together. And there was something about his eyes. He just had these piercing eyes. And I thought, I want my kids to have those eyes. So after